attention, please call the roll.
Councilman Anderson? Here. Councilman Mishnik?
Here.
Mayor Daphne?
Here.
Councilman Nashburn? Here. Councilman McGeehee?
Here.
Invocation and pledge will be offered by Councilman McGeehee.
Take an attitude of prayer, please. Oh God, Creator and Lord of our city, as well as of our individual lives, we humbly acknowledge your interest and your presence at this council meeting tonight. Before we begin our business, we deliberately open our minds and spirits to your holy will. Help us to be worthy of the trust the citizens of Alliance have placed in us. Guide us in each decision we make, that it might be as fair and just as it is economically sound, to the end that our community may achieve its highest potential and become all you want it to be. Amen. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Those of you in the audience, there's a copy of the open meetings law in the northeast corner of this room, and it will comply with what the Nebraska legislature would have us do.
The first item on tonight's agenda is the consent calendar, which consists of the approval of minutes, payroll, and claims, issuance of cemetery certificates, and approval of grant applications for the police department. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve tonight's consent calendar. Is there any questions on the consent calendar? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Councilman Mishnik?
Yes.
Mayor Daphne?
Yes?
Councilman Nashburn?
Yes.
Councilman McGeehee?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson? Yes.
Consent calendar has been approved.
Item B on the agenda is ordinance number 2951, municipal code amendment, electrical inspection code. Mr. Mayor, I move to approve item B.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2951 on the first reading. Please read ordinance by title.
Ordinance number 2951, an ordinance amending portions of Chapter 28, Article 3 of the Alliance Municipal Code, repealing existing ordinances, resolutions, policies, or portions thereof not consistent herewith, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Discussion of council?
I understand this to be just a language update. This is not a process change.
Do you want Kirby to talk?
Well, I'm just, yeah, Kirby, if you would.
Doesn't like you.
You want me to come up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Mike, you would.
I do that on purpose, you know.
That's fine, that's fine, that's why I came.
Hi, Kirby.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
No, really, all it is it's just clarifying who does our inspections. The previous ordinances had the city to do, when we had a qualified inspector, did our own inspections. We don't anymore, so now we're using the state inspector. So it just says in the ordinance, that's what they're putting in the ordinance, is that they're doing the inspections. And then it also has updated the code book. They have to follow the NESC to the 2017 year instead of the 2007 year. That's pretty much all it is. Just clarifies who's doing the inspections.
What is the timeline on getting an inspection with through the state now? Do we have several out in the area, or
One.
We have one.
But it's pretty quick. A lot of times the electrician will take a picture of it, send it to him, and he'll say we can energize it, and he'll inspect when he gets back to town.
Okay.
And I think Darren could attest to, usually it works pretty smooth.
It's really smooth with the state inspector.
Yeah.
So it won't hold up any further, it won't be a lag process or
No.
anything?
It's no different, this is no different what we've been doing for the last, probably 6 years, 8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just making the wording in the ordinance current with what we're doing right now, or what we've been doing.
Yeah, he's been being called to do them.
Yeah, they've been inspecting them all along, but this is just making the wording right in our ordinances.
No question. He showed up a little before I even wanted him to.
So if the city were to get a qualified inspector in the future, would we have to change the language back in order to allow that to happen?
Yes. But there's quite a process to have an inspector that can do it, yes. But yeah,
So it's unlikely, it's probably unlikely.
right now, I would say yes. I mean, where it's working so well with the state, I would, why we would change it, but that girl could look into later.
Thank you.
No problem. That it?
Thanks, Kurt.
Is there any reason, we usually go second reading just to go, but any reason to go? No?
I don't think there's anything controversial about this one.
Mr. Mayor, statutory rules requiring, reading of ordinance number, 2951 on 3 different dates be suspended.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded the statutory rule requiring 3 separate readings on 3 separate dates to be suspended. At this time, is there any discussion on suspending? Please call the vote.
Mayor Daphne?
Yes.
Councilman Mashburn?
Yes.
Councilman McGee?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Mishner?
Yes.
5 votes in favor, and that constitutes a majority. Council has now ordinance 2951 on final reading. Any discussion? Please call the vote.
Councilman Mashburn?
Yes.
Councilman McGee?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Mishner?
Yes.
Mayor Daphne?
Yes. Passage and adoption of ordinance number 2951 having been concurred by the majority of the council, I declare it passed and adopted in order of publishing. Item C tonight will deal with the public hearing for Class C liquor license application of the Dead Unicorn Society. 2 resolutions. I would open this public hearing at
7:07.
7:07, thank you. Ask the clerk what exhibit she has for this public hearing.
Exhibit number 1 is the application of the Dead Unicorn Society from 716 Flat Avenue in Alliance, Nebraska. Exhibit number 2 is the council checklist. And exhibit number 3 is the report from the police department on background checks.
Can I get a motion to accept these exhibits into the record, please?
I'll make a motion to accept these exhibits into the record.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the council adopt the exhibits that have been received into the official record. Is there any discussion on any of those at this time? Please call the vote.
Councilman McGee?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Mishner?
Yes.
Mayor Daphne?
Yes.
Councilman Mashburn?
Yes.
Exhibits are received. This time I would ask anyone that's going to speak for or against this, please stand, please. I do have to ask you a question. I have to ask you, do you affirm to tell the truth so help you God on this testimony?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mayor, excuse me, can I get names? Please, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Megan Johnson.
Karen Jelly.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. I'll ask the applicants, is there anything you want to say at this time's presentation towards what you're doing or anything here, or just answer any questions? Whatever your pleasure is.
Basically, just wanna let you guys know we're, planning the Dead Unicorn Society as a social venue for our community. We're focused on the arts, specifically live music events, and, also be offering, art classes and things like that to our community. Also plan on having a small boutique in the shop and, just a cool place for people to hang out and enjoy their time.
Mr. Mayor, can you ask him to step forward so I can ask the
But we'll
question?
get there in a minute, okay. Adam, you have anything you need to ask of the applicant at this particular time?
I got a couple of questions, just kind of how it's gonna run.
You come forward.
Okay.
Both of you, please.
Okay. Tell me where this is at. I'm trying to picture it. I can't place it.
We're directly across the street from Dairy Queen and Dollar General. I had a dog grooming salon in the same building for the last 20 years.
Okay. So will it be like, a bar, or is it more of a,
Yeah,
describe it.
yeah, for lack of better term, we're calling it a social venue, we're not focused on being a bar, we're not focused on being a restaurant. We're just, focused on entertainment, and we just would like to support that by offering food and drink.
What kind of drinks do you anticipate serving?
Probably mixed drinks, some hard alcohol, wine, beer. We're working with 719 Brewery to do a special beer for us that will solely be sold there.
Where will the alcohol be stored?
On site in a storage room.
Yeah, we have a lot of storage room coming there. Our kitchen.
And there will be the server, the employee. Are they interacting socially, or is there's a disconnect there? Does that make sense?
I would imagine they'll have to interact with people, yeah.
But not as a regular customer.
Oh, no.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to picture. I'm just trying to picture how that atmosphere will look. If the server is also part of the group enjoying themselves, or if there's a clear differentiation.
There needs to
Oh,
be
yeah, there would be
yeah.
a differentiation for sure.
Okay, I think
Thank you. Unless you have anything else you want to say in favor of it? Any questions at this time, Count? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Thank you. Anyone else in the audience to speak in favor of this applicant? Anyone to speak against? Chief, any comment from you on this investigation or anything?
No, as far as the investigation, we don't have any concern.
Okay. Anyone else either way here? If not, I'll close this public hearing at,
7:12.
thank you. Council members, questions? Could you, I need you to come back up, please.
What is the occupancy of your building?
It hasn't been specifically determined yet, but, when, was it Pat? Was it?
Yeah, the fire marshal said it looks like it's gonna be around that 50 mark.
And as for parking, because there's a small parking lot in front of the building.
Mhm. We also have the empty lot right next door that could be utilized for parking.
Give me a direction.
It'd be to the north.
Is that the old public transportation?
No, it's literally right there next to the building. We literally have a small lot there that's approximately 30 by 50 feet.
Maybe I'm thinking that is all, maybe I thought of it as always one, so that's why.
Yeah.
Do you suspect parking will be a problem? I mean, since it is on Black, which happens to be a busy street.
I can't say I know what to expect. It definitely could possibly be something we need to worry about. Like I said, that more than happy to create space using that lot we have. And I don't know if it's possible to talk to any of the surrounding businesses as far as parking would go after hours or anything like that. I don't know.
What are your hours of operation?
Right now, we're probably thinking we'll be open 3 PM to 11 PM, 5 to 6 days a week.
And is it mainly for local musicians, or are you looking to bring, like outside bands?
I'm hoping we get a lot of people from the area passing through. We was looking to work with some venues from Rapid City up in the Black Hills all the way down to into Wyoming, Cheyenne, and into Colorado as maybe a stopping point between the two. So if they line up a gig in Rapid City, Alliance could be the night before on the way. So we're hoping to see some traveling acts come through.
Yeah,
Make a
and
small
we're here
stop.
to support our local music community too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, the local ones, they've already been a big support already.
In your application, it said that there's outdoor seating. Where is that located?
Well-
Is that fenced off yet?
No,
No.
that's not going to be, anything right now until we can get the yard fenced. It's gonna be dependent on whether we have to use that for parking or if we can use that for an outdoor seating area. So,
What's the requirement for parking slots?
I don't have the answer for that, they're going last year.
I think it's something you wanna look at.
Yeah.
I think fire marshal puts an occupancy on there, your parking will tie in.
Right.
Is that right, Adam?
They may look at our code requirements for parking.
So, so you wanna make sure that they take it going and then not be able to meet that requirement, or is there, I checked with building and zoning to see what
Sure.
it is. I know that we've had people, especially some of the churches that require to pay to put in, so you wanna make sure you got that checked out, not how it's surprise. Is there, I gotta ask, is there a story behind the name?
Mainly we, if you see the place, there's a lot of antiques and old oddities and such that we brought into the place, and so the idea is we're kind of like resurrecting these old things and bringing them back to the life. Lots of unique things, so, it's just a silly name for, silly name for, something we're trying to create. It's something memorable. People remember the name.
You're certainly generating a lot of mystery and buzz on
We
social
certainly
media.
are.
And
Yeah,
I
exactly.
understand that, it's part of the allure and attracting patrons
Yeah.
and whatnot. So just, if you have anything that you'd like to enter into the conversation on your own, to kind of help clarify that, just giving you that opportunity to do so.
Okay. I don't know what else to use here.
I don't know, we're just kinda letting people talk however they wanna talk about it, and some good, some bad, some whatever, trying not to get too worked up about most of it. I guess if anything, it would be, make people curious and wanna come in and take a look and check out the place.
I think it might.
Since you are having a boutique in it,
Mhm.
I guess are minors going to be able, and obviously art classes,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just an event spending. So, it's full of antiques and oddities, and, it's a really beautiful space that I think a lot of people would enjoy. My kids come daily, so, and Darren's kids have been there, and, my kids' friends all have been down there working on the place, so, yeah.
What kind of food do you plan on serving?
Like I said, we're not trying to be a restaurant really, we're just trying to support, our main focus, which is the arts. So we plan on just serving mostly hors d'oeuvre type menu. We probably won't even have a set menu. You might be able to come in and get a burger every day, and aside from that, it'll be whatever our chef decides to cook that day might be the only other thing on the menu, so.
Might work towards whatever, if we got, say, an artist or a band coming in, we'll say, what do you think would work well for while you guys play? And, just kinda try to work it around what we have going on for the day.
Yeah.
I know your plans are kind of still evolving, but I just wonder if you've given any thought to stack size or where you see, number of employees headed?
It'll probably be pretty small, maybe 1 to 3 at most, besides ourselves.
From ourselves.
Sounds like you're trying to something together and
Mhm.
hopefully it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Should be interesting either way.
Anyone else? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
Hear a motion on resolution 23-12.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 23-12.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 23-12. Is there any further discussion? I would note that this is just the center, this resolution is the center recommendation to the Liquor Commission is all it is. They'll have the final say on this, is that correct, Yes. Please call the vote.
Councilman McGeehee?
Yes.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Mishnik?
Yes.
Mayor Gaffney?
Yes.
Councilman Mashburn?
Yes.
Resolution 23-12 has been approved. Along with this item, there is another resolution that approving the manager's application for the Dead Unicorn Society, and I would move for approval of resolution 23-13 on this applicant for the manager.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve resolution 23-13. Is there any discussion here? And this manager will have to be trained and certified according to state, is that correct?
Yes, before the state will issue the manager's license.
Any other questions? Please call the vote, John.
Councilman Anderson?
Yes.
Councilman Mishnik?
Yes.
Mayor Gaffney?
Yes.
Councilman Mashburn?
Yes.
Councilman McGeehee?
Yes.
Resolution 23-13 has been approved. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is resolution number 23-14, ambulance purchase approval and grant acceptance.
I'd give the that's in there, yes.
Resolution number 23-14 will approve the purchase of a new ambulance from Rocky Mountain Emergency Vehicles out of Denver, Colorado, as well as accept $75,000 of grant funding from the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Service Division of Public Health to be put towards the purchase. I make a motion to approve resolution 23-14.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to approve resolution 23-14. Discussion? Troy, any trouble getting this? Did it take a while? Or did it come in pretty good shape? Because we're looking, I think, probably budget here to order more.
So procurement for municipalities, we're in a whole different mindset than we have ever been. So it's kind of like, I was talking to a couple of people earlier today, it's kind of like when we do the budgeting process for capital improvement, that department heads should ask their councils and governing bodies for basically to approve the funds in advance in case we come across something. So it's kind of like we're locking in same day buying power because of the unknown. So this ambulance typically would have been a 3 to 6 month delivery. We're looking at 14 to 24. And it's based on a couple things. It's based on the labor market, and it's based on material, being able to get material. But when we submitted the grant, because the state of Nebraska got a big pool of American Recovery Plan Act money, and there's 2 associations that I'm a part of that lobbied the legislature to help provide funding for ambulance replacement and purchases and equipment. And they only allotted $20 million of that ARPA money for ambulances and about $5 million for equipment. So unlike law enforcement, fire and EMS don't see the grant opportunities as much. And so we submitted that grant. We got that approval for $75,000. We asked for $150 because that was the limit. Most places around us, I can tell you, were awarded the $75,000. And we got denied on the equipment portion of the grant because it's 2 separate pools of money. So we're trying to get the city's ambulance purchase into the same production line as the rules, because it saves, when we do them kind of together, it saves time for training on the volunteers because they're manufactured completely the same way. So we would, if we approve this resolution, it puts us into that production schedule, knowing that we're probably going to have to carry forward the $300,000 that we budgeted to the next fiscal year. Because we're probably looking at a 2024 model chassis, which they haven't released the pricing on, or how many they're going to actually produce. I can tell you that when I talked to Lifeline last week, they submitted 12 purchase orders to Ford specifically for an E450 chassis, which is not the same one that we were asking for, and they got denied all of those. Ford's not gonna produce that chassis for them. So we're kinda on the cusp that, they have some allotments that they can potentially push our way, but we have to act. And then we had to act on the grant. We have to provide feedback to the state by the 28th of February saying, yes, we want to accept this $75,000. We have till March of 2026 to spend it. I don't think it's gonna go out that far, but we're hitting some production timelines and some grant funding timelines. But in the 15 years I've been the fire chief, this is the first time that a grant opportunity for an ambulance or equipment ever came our way.
Good job.
Yes.
Anyone else? Thanks, Troy. Appreciate it, Troy. Any further discussion by council? Not, please call the vote.
Mayor Gaffney.
Yes.
Councilman Nashman.
Yes.
Councilman McGeehee.
Yes.
Councilman Anderson.
Yes.
Councilman Mishnik.
Yes.
Resolution number 23-14 has been approved, and that concludes